TrustEngine community and TrustEngine leaders. This is Dave Savage, Chief Innovation Officer of TrustEngine, co-founder of Mortgage Coach, and I'm interviewing Eric Holmen. This is not the first time I've interviewed Eric, because I had the honor of working with Eric. How many years ago, brother, was it that we were on the same team?
It's 2003 to like 2011. That was a while ago.
It has been it was a wild time. So Eric was the president of almost forget the name, Smart Reply, one of my I think of all the companies I've co-founded, Mortgage Coach and Smart Reply are two the biggest accomplishments in my professional career. And Eric came in as a leader on the team, a VP level executive, became the president of that company. Eric, if you could just to give people some color, what have you been doing since, so folks kind of have an idea of what you bring to the market?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my career has always been in marketing tech. I mean, it started in the catalog business before the internet was there, and that was a really good springboard to get into all the cool things that marketing would do with the internet. That was a really good place to start. And then after Smart Reply, I've worked for a company called Invoca, which is in basically call center technology, marketing, and analytics, and then Urban Airship, which is the kind of backbone of almost every mobile app for marketing, does a lot of the marketing analytics and notifications. And now I'm CEO of Splash. We're an event marketing platform. So we're headquartered in New York, but I get the pleasure of working and living in California.
Yeah, no, you're living the life. Congrats on all the success. And so let's think about this, guys. Think of this interview as market tech. How can market tech, and something that bonded Eric and I early on is the idea of turning marketing technology into a true consumer value. Like it's not just marketing to consumers to get them to respond, take action, and drive deals, but it was marketing to people in a way that actually created real value for them. Just the marketing itself created consumer value. What are some experiences that come to mind, or some, think of, how I am. What are some stories? What are some strategies that would be valuable today to lenders and leaders of mortgage companies?
Yeah, no, that's great. It's funny you said that about making it compelling to the consumer. I had a board meeting yesterday, and one of the things I was talking about is that a lot of the value in marketing technology tends to be, we think about it as benefiting the marketer. It's automating things, making life easier, making them smarter. But really the value has to start with making marketing more compelling for the end consumer, whoever that consumer is, whether they're a business person or a customer or consumer. If marketing tech just makes things easier for the marketer without making it compelling for the buyer, then you haven't really done the job. And somebody's going to beat you to that punch. Marketing tech should make life easier for the marketer to do better things for the consumer. And going back to where we were, Smart Reply, and we were doing some really cool things back. Before. No one really believed what we were doing. We called it mobile marketing. And I remember I was at a conference once, and I was talking about mobile marketing, and just, what that time really meant text messaging. And it was so new in the US. Somebody asked me if we were like doing the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Like, that was mobile marketing at that point in time, was like the Oscar Mayer Wiener van was a mobile marketing. And so we were doing things that just was brand new, and there were no laws either. It was a really interesting time. I remember some early tests where customers would just get a list of their buyers' phone numbers, and we would send text messages. There was no opt-in. People were getting charged 10 cents every time they received one of those messages. So we had lots of people complaining early on. You talk about.
We want to put that in public, that we were the guys that did that back in the day.
It was very innovative timing.
We did that on behalf of large brands.
Yes, exactly.
We did that, and then going from memory, I think we were the ones that help Old Navy, the Gap, some of the biggest brands in America. We were the ones that taught them how to legally build mobile marketing databases.
Yeah, that's right. And how to build opt-in. We had a lot of conviction, because right away we learned that you can't just do that. You can't just send text messages uninvited. That's a very bad non-compelling experience, off-brand for any reasonable brand. And I got really involved with the FTC in helping to design some of those laws. We got really involved. We had lawyers involved. We were on multiple panels for the consumer advocations, and it was a good time. And we did focus very much on building good databases where people opted in. It was very slow. Marketing at that time was very fast moving at scale. You could buy a list and send out 1 million postcards by the end of the week. And we were saying, on a daily basis, make sure your cashiers are asking for opt-ins, make sure people are signing up online and checking the opt-in box. And it would be a dribble slowly. And then eventually, like with Meijer, they would end up with hundreds of thousands of customers who were eager to get those messages, opted in and eager to get those messages.
So let's tell that story real quick, because I do think that story still has, tremendous value in today's market. So from just describe what we did for Meijer, because what we did for Meijer, by the way, we were one of the first U.S. companies to win a mobile marketing award. And I think the year that it was the first time an American company had ever won it. And I think our company, it was us, Procter & Gamble, and was it Verizon? The three of us? Smart Reply?
Meijer, and Meijer was the other one. Procter & Gamble.
Well, yeah, but we won it with Meijer.
Oh yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, that was. I mean, I remember that event in LA, and it was interesting because they were going through the awards, and all the winners were these European and Australian companies and partners. And like we finally, we were one of the American companies to win. It was early days. That was 2005, I think. It was 2005 or 6.
Yeah. So
before the iPhone.
Describe what we did there, and then I'll connect the dots to, hey, if you're a lender, what you should be doing today and how this matters.
Yeah, Meijer was interesting. So Meijer, just to get an idea of what they are, they're like kind of like a higher end Walmart, super Walmart, based in kind of the Michigan area, and one of the largest privately held grocery chains in the world, I think. Just a massive.
I think they were one of the top 10, at least they were, privately held companies in America.
Yeah.
And Sam Walton calls out in his book that he got the idea of Walmart from Meijer. Meijer was his inspiration.
Yeah, and it was stocked with great people that worked there, loved the culture of the company, very family oriented. And their new chief marketing officer at the time had been a customer of ours at Sports Authority, Jeff, and
Jeff Handler. Thank you, brother. Shout out to Jeff Handler.
Amazing innovative guy, willing to take all kinds of risks. I still have a business card. We were at dinner with Jeff and some friends from Hart Hanks, an agency, at Gibson's Steakhouse in Chicago. And Jeff and I were debating what was going to be the pace of mobile adoption in the world at that time. And it's just early days. And so we wrote on the back of a Hart Hanks business card a graph. And my graph was kind of this line that went slow and then fast. And his was this one that just went slow forever. And I said, there's going to be an innovation. There's going to be a breakthrough. And a couple of years later, you had the iPhone, and that changed everything, brought the internet to everyone's fingertips in an easy, consumable way. So anyway, with Meijer, what Jeff wanted to do was he wanted to be faster than the competition. And I remember walking into his office on the very first day that I saw him in the new office in Grand Rapids. And we're in the middle of a meeting, and somebody comes in and says, Walmart's price of bananas just dropped 4 cents. And Jeff says, all right, drop ours 5. It's like, just like that. That's how bananas brought people into the store for some reason. That was a thing that they would advertise. And so that was the move that they were trying to get, is how do we get that information into the hands of the customer immediately? Because that would show up in the store and eventually people would find out. So it's how do I move faster and make my content engaging and fast, not just engaging. And so we started doing opt-in programs, and the opt-in was everywhere. It was pervasive. It was at the cash register. When you put in your phone number, if you hadn't opted in yet, you would get a prompt. Would you like to opt in to receive notifications and coupons from Meijer on your mobile phone? And we did it on their website. We did it in all of their print advertising. And because they were just fully committed to it, they built one of the biggest mobile databases in retail at that time. Within a year, they had built out something very valuable. And the amazing thing was they would use it for regular promotions, but they would also use it for instant promotions. And at the time, you'd get a text message and you couldn't scan it. We didn't have the technology to deliver barcodes, and even if you could, the phones were too reflective on the screens; it wouldn't scan. We tried every which way to make that work and just couldn't. But what we found is customers, the concern is, how often do you message people before they opt out, before they say, this is just too much, I don't want it anymore? And we spent a lot of time trying to dial that in just right to get the right message frequency. And it was surprisingly more frequent because the value was really spot on for the consumer. And that was the key thing that just resonates over and over again with my sales and marketing career is you just gotta build the value when you're doing your sales and marketing. Because if you're not getting the value, then people are going to opt out, whether they literally opt out or they just mentally check out.
Yeah, and from my memory, the award that we won, I think it was best use of mobile marketing for customer relationship, was that they had gas stations. So at a Meijer, they had gas stations, and anyone who knows the gas business, prices going up or down matters to a certain customer segment. And at the time that we implemented this, we did a gas price alert. I don't remember if that was what it was called, but it was like, hey, if you want to be in the Meijer gas price alert program, give us your mobile number, and then we'll give you a 2-hour head start? Like, we'll let you know 2 hours before prices go up.
Yep, that's exactly right. So it was exactly that. It was before prices went up, which I thought was a really interesting twist on the story. And they ended up doing those kind of alerts for you could sign up for different things around the store. So if you were looking for what was going to be the new cut of meat and when that was going to be arriving, you get alerts for the butcher. There was all kinds of really cool, clever things that became increasingly personalized.
Yeah, and so here's my takeaway for mortgage. And Eric, feel free to add anything you want. That if you want to be a lender for life, like if you want to build a mortgage company where clients do business with you for life, and loan officers listen to this, you want to be that loan officer for life, like you've got to take your database really serious. Like Meijer could not have done that if they did not, if they weren't building a database with the right permissions to take action on that database, and then giving customer value, that, hey, prices are going up. One of the things we do at TrustEngine now. So Eric, when I talked to you a while ago, it was like Smart Reply and Mortgage Coach. We have rolled out our new brand. Company name is TrustEngine. And so, one of the things that we're passionate about is helping lenders build databases and then know when the consumer can benefit, hey, they're in the money, and then take action, create a total cost analysis, email it, text it, deliver it in the most compelling way possible. And so I just thought like that Meijer story might really help lenders think about alerting your database, about taking action to your database. Any thoughts you have on that before we move to another story or idea?
I think you're right. It's back to that, making it compelling information and having enough frequency, but not too much frequency. I think that my personal experience is I don't hear enough from my mortgage relationship until something's changed years later, and that's a missed opportunity.
Would you dig it if they were coming to you with ideas like, hey, here's an idea, knowing that you have kids in college and graduating from college, here's an idea on how to help your kids house hack.
Yeah.
And you're at an age now and you've achieved a level of success. Hey, here's an idea on, did you know how you could build wealth with real estate and get a second home, or how you could be optimizing your equity? Do you see like the obvious value in that?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. It's, because you tend to just compartmentalize, like I'm just here if I'm going to refinance or buy, sell this house and buy a new one. And I'd love to hear more ideas. And some of the things you just talked about are things that are completely foreign to me. No one's talks to me about those things. So maybe my financial planner will do that, in our quarterly review. But even then, it's very specific to other things. So I definitely would welcome that kind of expertise.
Yeah, well, I love what we're doing. We're turning, and it is MarTech. We're turning, what is marketing and sales technology into something that really brings value to a consumer, to a borrower. So, hey, man, before we run out of time, any other stories or strategies, just knowing that you're talking to a audience of CEOs, heads of production, CTOs, loan officers listen to this, any other ideas that you think would, bring value?
I think the other end of this, and back to Jeff at Meijer, he was always really good at also analyzing the data and understanding what works and what doesn't work. So taking a look at what kind of communications are working, how frequently do I communicate, and what's the most valuable segment that I communicate with, when have I done too much? So I think also making sure you take the time to put the markers in and look for the signals and study those and analyze the small things and the big things is probably the next big thing I'd talk about.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm not going to get into a whole, I want to keep these like educational, almost like podcasts. But I mean, one of the things that we're doing with the borrower intelligence platform is actually taking a lender's database and not just, the lender might say, oh, I want to do this strategy and I want to do that strategy, and we're like, okay, let's consider those, but let's see what the data is telling us. Like, hey, did you know? And while you're in 50 states, in Texas, Florida, Virginia, or not Virginia, but Georgia and Arizona, you've got some very interesting cash out buyers. In fact, in your database, you got 4,824 people that look like they would benefit from leveraging their equity. Or to do that same type of analysis, it looks like you have X number of homeowners that would be interested in moving up and taking action. So I love that you said that, because I think outside of the mortgage space, that's pretty common.
Yeah.
Like when you think of your companies, what was the airship company that you worked for?
Urban Airship.
Remind me.
Remind
me. Yeah. I mean, just about every single one of those companies, they're already doing that, but lenders aren't.
Oh yeah, no, that's interesting, because that's an awesome disruption you can bring to the market, and that's that's wild that doesn't happen, because there's so much money in the mortgage space, the big mortgage space, that if it's not analyzed that way, that's what a huge opportunity.
Yeah, now fintech, I think is very behind consumer packaged goods, the largest MarTech, big data. Cool, man. Well, hey, if anyone wanted to follow you, I'm going to put your LinkedIn profile down below. If anyone wanted to, have, by the way, do you do any speaking? Because I mean, you've really accomplished a lot as a fintech. Well, not fintech, MarTech innovator. Anyone wanted to reach out to you or follow you, is it just best to do it through LinkedIn? Or
LinkedIn for sure. That's probably where I'm most active, from a business, social perspective. Yeah, and I do. What's your
company do now? The company that you're the CEO of right now, what do you guys do really high level?
Yeah, it's event marketing. So if you're throwing an event, we call them everyday events. So it's not like a big conference event, but if you're doing like VIP dinners, or you're doing workshops and you've got 50 to 200, 300 people attending, and it's relatively straightforward, we do all the marketing for that. So the CMS, the registration site, all the social publishing, and then all the analytics on the event. And that's kind of like what you were saying. That's my thesis on events. Events was the last space in the marketing stack that really didn't get analyzed. You ask an event marketer, was that event a good event? They'll say, yeah, the sales people said they had great conversations, or we had 30 attendees. Like, what does that even mean? That's not an analysis. So I just had a real strong thesis coming into the space that, and it's also like the amount of money that gets spent on events for B2B companies is enormous. And, the best analysis is the salespeople had good conversations. Come on, there's got to be way better opportunity. So that's
what salesperson doesn't want to say that and have events,
I know. And so that's how they justify, well, let's do it again. Let's spend another $10,000 and have more happy salespeople having happy conversations. So we've done some really cool stuff. And like one of our customers is Fidelity, and they're doing 1,300 events a month with us on our platform, because they've figured out how to analyze this thing. Yeah, it's their wealth practice. So by
the way, so tell everybody the the website again and the name of
Yeah,
it?
it's the company's called Splash, and the website is splashthat.com. And we have a free product too. We've got like 8,000 users on the free product, so it's something anybody can try.
So first of all, everybody in the mortgage industry, we're doing events. Let's check this out. If anyone watching this has already used Splash and you've got like something cool to say about it, put that in chat down below. Put that in comments. I want to hear about this. And Eric, I think that there may be a number of people in the mortgage business that could get real value from this. So
Sure.
maybe you didn't just come on here as an old buddy who you and I have been innovating together. What was the year that we came together and started working together?
It was,
Do you remember?
it was 2003, July 7th, 2003. I remember it was after the 4th of July long weekend, and then we jumped right
Yeah,
into
so 20 years ago. So this is our 20-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's right. We're coming up on 20 years. That's right.
Well, hey, bro, I will tell you those years at Smart Reply, the innovations that we made, the business that we grew. I mean, the culture. As president, dude, you really built an amazing culture at that business. I'm still a professional highlight for me.
Oh, that's awesome. We had such a good time. We had such good people, and I learned so much. I definitely had to learn how to cut my teeth in leadership there. And we went through some wild times as our business became more regulated and trying to figure out how to manage that. Every regulation felt like a crisis, but it turned into an opportunity.
It did. Although I still miss not having an annual event in Barcelona.
Yes.
How fun was that mobile marketing award event? Full marketing.
That's happening this week, right now. I have some people from my Amsterdam team who are there right now, and I'm like, I really want. I went for years and years. This is like I think the pandemic is when I stopped going to that event. It's wild. It's so big.
I went 3 years, and I would say as far as business trips, we would rent an Airbnb and downtown Barcelona.
Yeah.
And we would work hard and we would play hard. It was fun.
Yeah. We had such a good time. And we got a lot of good business done. That's the magic, right? That have a really good time, work hard and feel some success. That's what we accomplished. That it was good.
Yeah. Well, hey, bro, I appreciate this. I would love to interview you more on just how to turn marketing technology into real value. For anyone watching this and you're in the mortgage business, I hope you're digging that I'm bringing ideas from outside the mortgage business. I do think there's a tremendous amount that we can learn from, especially retailers. God, what was his name? Steve Brown, who I interviewed, who was the chief futurist for Intel. He was like a year or two after he had finished that role. And I had asked him, hey, what should the mortgage industry do? Hey, you're this big innovator. What advice do you have to mortgage? And he's like, WACD. You got to write it down, WACD. And I'm like, by the way, Eric, do you know what a WACD?
No, I don't.
So he goes, it's what I've been telling specialty retailer for years. And the ones that have executed WACD are their market is going up, their stock is good, their future is bright. And the people that haven't, they're either out of business or they're going out of business. WACD stands for what Amazon can't do. And
that's great.
And he goes, and then here's the thing, guys, they need to do what Amazon can do. So, and then he called out Nordstrom's and he said, you know what? There's a lot of technology going on there. Like if you walk into a Nordstrom's and, they don't have something you want, like anyone in the store could go, oh, I got one in back, or, oh, drive 7 miles over here, or click button and I'll ship it to your house. Like they can do what Amazon can't do. And so mortgage industry, same thing. Maybe we need to add a Z to it because we're in, housing, WA, you guys all know what Z stands for. But we need to evolve with technology, and we need to be, create valuable, think about that, like what Nordstrom's does.
Yeah.
They're providing this omni-channel experience where, you want to do business with us digitally, you want to do business with us in person. We're doing things that no machine can take over. So
yeah, that's right.
Eric, any closing thoughts before we wrap it up and say goodbye to everyone?
I love the WACD. That's going to be one I'm going to evaluate my business against and look at, who's my competition in the market, direct or indirect. That's a really good framing. I love it.
Cool. Yeah, I'll send me your address and I'll send you one of Steve's books, and really cool interviews, really neat guy. So, hey,
Nice.
brother, I
All right.
appreciate this, man. I
Thanks,
look forward to
Dave.
the next time. Take care.
All right. Thanks.